Lived above a liquor store, old building, 3 stories, I'm on the top floor. Summer night, 1 a.m., in bed, windows open, barely awake. Building shudders slightly. Building sways again. It feels as if, kinda sounds as if, someone were repeatedly backing a Volkswagen Beetle into the building. And suddenly I'm wide awake, looking out the window. WTF? Nothing to see, but something just happened, and I'm pausing to throw on some pants before flying down 2 flights of stairs and arriving to find that the heavy glass plate door has been smashed through and there's some fucking kid in the shop. Surreal. I call out something like, "What are you doing in there?" and he comes for me. He had to, of course, because the only way out was the way he got in, so unless I was so intimidating that he needed to curl up in a dark corner of the shop and wait for the police to arrive, he had to make for the door. Not that I'm thinking any of this. I just watch him rush towards me as I stand my ground just a few feet away from the door. Neurotransmitters flood through my brain. The hypothalamus pituitary adrenal glands kick into overdrive, and the next thing I know I'm barefoot chasing some kid down the street. He's dripping packages of cigarettes and sippy bottles of booze, and I'm slapping my ass looking for my cell phone to call the police as I was chasing the kid. We pass a taxi and I scream for him to call the police and he hightails it out of there. I realize that my phone isn't on me, and with this realization my brain barely starts working again. I'm alone. What do I do when I catch him? Beat the hell out of him for some other guy's cigarettes? What if he has a knife or a gun? And then he slips down a darkened side street and I just stop running. That was a crazy brew of chemicals to slowly come down from as I rejoined my housemates who gathered outside the building. They looked at me with a kind of respect for the mad, but all I got was angry with myself. If he had actually come for me outside the building, what would I have done? It was all base stem of the brain reactions, fight or flight. He ran, so I chased. If he'd instead leapt at me with a knife, would I have suddenly learned Kung Fu? Probably not. Many years back I was driving along rather late at night on a road near the hospital I was interning at, in a shady part of Detroit, back when the city was even more dangerous. There were only a few cars on the road at that time, and at that time I had been living there for only a few months, so I did not know about most of the dangers that were present in that city. People buying old cop cars and pulling over people and robbing them. People jacking cars that were stopped at red lights. Anyway, my damn car's tire suddenly gets wrecked and I manage to pull to the side of the road. It was late, in one of the many bad parts of town, but I did not really understand that at the time. I am not a native of the city, so I got out and get ready to change my tires. I was not a member of the AAA. I was working on the back tire that was shredded when suddenly another car pulled up and stopped right in front of my car. I assumed he was there to help me, stupid, so I got up to talk to him. The man in the other car got out, and proceeded to walk over and crouch near my front tire with some tools, and started to take the tire off. I was rather confused at this, so I asked the man, "Hey, what are you doing?" He stopped to turn to me, face completely serious, and said, "You take the back tires and the radio, I'll take the front tires and the battery, fair." It took me a moment to register that he was indeed stealing my tires, so I just blurted out without thinking, "This is my car." The other guy stopped, stared at me for a few seconds,